So today we're going to talk about traits and personalities. Traits are distinguishing personal characteristics, while personality is a combination of traits that classify an individual's behavior. Understanding people's personalities and traits are important because personality and traits affect behavior, as well as people's perceptions and attitudes toward us and towards others exhibiting specific traits and personalities. Knowing traits and personalities helps us to explain and predict other people's behavior and job performance in addition to our own. Tonight's lecture is going to be a tiny bit different than what you've seen previously, as I'm trying something new tonight. We're going to do a PowerPoint and an embed video, so bear with me, please. So, here we see some traits of effective leaders. And now we're going to actually watch some videos that talk about some of these and how to incorporate some of those and some of the different theories that are explained in your book. The first video we're going to watch is the Big Five model of personality, which categorizes traits into the different dimensions, which in the video they're going to talk about the different dimensions, and they might be slightly different than what you read in your book, but basically still the same thing. So let's go ahead and take a look.
For many years, the field of psychology has been trying to understand all those personality traits that make you a unique and special little snowflake. Hi guys, I'm Lacey Green, and this is D News. It's called personality psychology. It's a booming field of research you're bound to hear about in any human psych class. One of the most well-researched and respected personality models in the field is Costin McRae's Big Five. This model evaluates how strong a person is on 5 different axes. Take a look at these traits. Trait number 1 is openness to experience. This trait describes how open or closed your thinking is. Highly open people are intellectually curious. They love art and science. Open people appreciate emotion, unusual ideas, imagination, adventure, and of course, having new experiences. People with low scores tend to have more traditional interests. They prefer familiarity or doing something new, and they don't really like change. Trait number 2 is conscientiousness. Highly conscientious people are basically those annoying overachievers who are always on top of it. They're disciplined, responsible, and good at planning ahead. A high score on conscientiousness suggests a strong ability to regulate and control your behavior. Low scores tend to be more impulsive and unorganized. Hot mess status. Trait number 3 is extroversion. People tend to think of extroversion and introversion as how outgoing you are, but it's actually about how you get your energy. High scores, the extroverts feel recharged and energized by going out and being around people. They like parties and chit-chatting. Low scores or introverts feel rejuvenated and energized by spending time alone. They tend to be quieter, lower key, and more deliberate. They go to a party to recover the next day. This is sometimes confused with shyness, but shyness is about comfort socializing. Introversion and extroversion are about the amount of socializing you need to do your best and to feel your best. Trait number 4 is agreeableness. Highly agreeable people are considerate, friendly, and helpful. They just get along, guys. They make sacrifices for others and they assume others are good people. Low scores or highly disagreeable people are suspicious, distant, and uncooperative. They place self-interest above getting along. They don't care as much about other people's well-being, and they're less likely to help you out. Basically, they're out. I'm just kidding, but... And last but not least, trait number 5 is neuroticism. This trait measures emotional stability. Highly neurotic people are more prone to negative emotions like anxiety, anger, depression. They're easily stressed out, they're reactive, and they're more likely to be frustrated in day-to-day life. Low scores are more calm and collected. They don't really sweat the small stuff. They're emotionally stable and balanced. Now, for a long time, we thought that these 5 traits held true across regions and cultures. We've witnessed them in action across the world, but recently, researchers found an isolated Bolivian farming community where for the first time, it doesn't seem to apply. For this community, there are only 2 major traits: socially beneficial behavior, industriousness. This makes an interesting suggestion about personality. If there are a lot of developed areas where personality trends are different, society may play a stronger role in encouraging or discouraging the expression of personality in a little bit of food for your brain. So guys, I'm going to put a link in the description to take the Big 5 personality test if you're interested. And
Okay, so now that we've listened to a video on the Big Five model of personality, I would like to ask you if you agree or disagree with what Lacey said. How do you feel about having a team of all agreeable people versus disagreeable people? Do you need one more than the other, or do you actually need a combination of the two? Next, we're going to talk about leadership attitudes. Leadership isn't about having power over others. It actually involves making a note of each person's potential and expressing that you have trust in that potential. It means remaining as open as possible, involving others in decision making, and using your energy to create enthusiasm in others, and creating an environment where everyone feels that they are respected and listened to. All of these attitudes make for successful leadership. So let's go ahead and see what others have to say about that.
Leadership attitudes is what you should expect from your leaders, and it's also what we expect from being a leader in Telenor. So let's start with the first one, explore. What do we mean by explore?
To me, explore is all about being curious. But to really get something out of your curiosity, you've got to combine it with guts and skills. And if you're able to do that, then I think we've got a good foundation for our future explorations.
I believe that a company will never survive if it operates based on yesterday's logic. Thus, a company needs to challenge and experiment the status quo, and it has to do it constantly. That's explore for me.
By explore, to me, we mean that leaders should show curiosity. They should be willing to take risks. They should dare to experiment and to fail, to be dusted off and to set out again. We need to be explorative in Telenor because we have to adapt to a very uncertain future. And next, we have engage.
To me, engagement should be done by involving and motivating the employees in a good teamwork. So not only in the department, but also in relation to external collaborations at a group level, with the BUs, with the commercial partners, or also institute researchers.
For me, engagement means to be involved, to care, take action, and to motivate. And I think employees who are engaged, they very often think, wow, I love the job.
And how do we do that? We engage in our teams, we engage in development of our people, and we engage with partners. With partners, we go for win-win solutions. Together, we can make a big difference to our customers with our partners. Then it's empower. Why is that important? Because it's really about our people, our experts.
Empowerment to me is about trust. An empowering leader provides directions and then lets me make best use of my expertise and abilities to achieve our goal.
To me, empower is important because giving power to the team members and showing trust to their potential will strengthen teamwork for taking decisions for relevant issues for Telenor.
As a leader, it's not about you, it is really about them. You should set your experts and your people up for success. That is your key task as a leader. That's why empowerment is so important. Finally, we have execute. This is the real getting things done.
I believe that PowerPoints, experimentation, and challenging means nothing without execution. Thus, it's the main pillar, and it's the hardest thing to do.
For me, execution is the cornerstone of success. You can have a good idea, but if you don't go through with it, it's never going to be successful. So for me, execution is taking this idea, taking ownership of it, and seeing it all through.
My goal is that we can build a market of this small, fast company within a big Telenor and turn this into a really customer-centric machine.
So, now that you've watched a leadership attitude video about one company in particular, what ideas or concepts would you have addressed if you made this video about leadership attitudes? So next we're going to learn about Theory X and Theory Y, which your book explains as an attempt to explain and predict leadership behavior and performance based on the leader's attitudes about followers. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So while I apologize that there was no talking in that video, based off what you read in it, do you disagree or agree with what they were saying? And what are your thoughts about this theory? Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about is the effect in, the Pygmalion effect, which proposes that leaders' attitudes and expectations of followers and their treatment of them explain and predict followers' behaviors and performance. And this will become much clearer in a moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
This is Minutespirations. Today's topic, the Pygmalion effect. What? Who's Pygmal? It's not Pygmal. Pygmalion in Ovid's Metamorphoses was a sculptor who created this beautiful ivory sculpture of a woman. He was so enamored with his work that he said, "Gods, please turn this woman into a real beautiful, real living person." Swing! And they did. So they got married and lived happily ever after. That's the Pygmalion effect, setting your expectation on something and then having it come true. Rosenthal and Jacobson, in studies that were done years ago in an elementary school, basically took or had elementary school students take an intelligence test. Once the results were in, they randomly selected 20% of those students and bundled them up and put them in the classroom. To the teacher they said, "Hey, these are high-performing students. They're going to blossom intellectually later this year." Well, 8 months later, they took those intelligence tests again, different tests, of course, among the entire population, and what they found is the students in that classroom way outperformed the rest of the class population. Incredibly so. So the Pygmalion effect basically says your performance is determined by your expectation. Positive expectations, positive performance. Negative expectation, negative performance. So how can you use this in your life? What about in your team at work? If you're a leader, how do you look at your salespeople, or your operations people, or your production people at your house? What do you do? How do you look at your spouse and your children? Can they perform wonderfully? Do you expect that? What about when you walk outside for the day? What expectations have you set? I say set them positively. Thanks for tuning in. Make today great, and we'll see you next time.
So, now that we've watched that very energetic man, how do you think you can go ahead and begin the process of either improving your expectations of others and yourself, or maintaining? Do you have high expectations of yourself? Do you have high expectations of others? Do you think that people work up to their expectations? Do you believe that there's motivation in that, or just some questions to ponder? So the last theory we're going to talk about is the concept of self. So the concept of self is made up of 3 different categories: self-concept, self-efficacy, and self-confidence. Self-concept refers to the positive or negative attitudes that people have about themselves, where self-efficacy is the belief in one's own capability to perform in a specific situation, and self-confidence is the belief that you can be successful. And this will bring us to our last video of the evening on self-concept. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Hello class, can I explain any leadership concepts?
Professor Siegfried, can you explain the term self-concept?
Well, Fiona, self-concept refers to the positive or negative attitudes people have about themselves. If you have a positive view of yourself as being a capable person, you will tend to have the positive self-confidence trait. A related concept, self-efficacy, is based on self-concept and is closely related to the self-confidence trait, because if you believe you can be successful, you will often have self-confidence. However, there has been a rise of superego individuals with unrealistic self-concepts. There is a lot of truth in the saying of Henry Ford who quoted, "If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can."
Thanks, Professor, for explaining self-concept.
Okay, without going into too much detail on why the heck that guy does not have arms and legs, how do you feel about the self-concept? Do you have a positive or negative concept of yourself? And if you have a negative one, how do you think you can go about improving that? And we are going to end the topic today with some questions. Since we are all in a graduate program and we are all aspiring to be leaders, I would ask that you take a look at the leaders within Utica College and business executives in general and compare and contrast them. And think about the questions. Can today's academic leaders successfully adapt to a changing environment, or might innate personality and values characteristics preclude them from doing so? And can business executives adapt to positions within academia, or will some of their innate personality and value characteristics preclude them from succeeding in higher education? Think carefully before you answer this one. But thank you very much for your time this evening, and I hope you enjoyed. And please let me know how you think, what you think about embedding videos and voiceover PowerPoint lectures. Thank you, and have a great night.